You already know more than enough to take the next step. So, why does the next step still feel impossible? Chosen one. That question has followed you into ordinary moments. You walk into a room and forget why you came. You open something important and feel tired within minutes. Yet you can remain distracted for an hour without noticing time pass. You receive a clear insight during prayer. Then morning comes, and the certainty dissolves before your feet touch the floor. You begin to wonder whether the message was ever real. You have called it laziness. You have called it weak discipline. On the hardest days, you have quietly wondered whether the Holy Spirit stopped working in you. But there is another possibility. The message may not be missing. The receiver may be exhausted. It means your struggle is not automatic proof of spiritual failure. The truth may be arriving while your inner system is too overloaded to hold it long enough for action. Before this message ends, you will understand why renewal can begin before you feel anything dramatic. You will learn to recognize it through your reactions, boundaries, attention, and decisions. You will also learn to separate three different needs. Some things need prayer, some things need rest and practical change. Some symptoms deserve professional medical care, and wisdom never asks you to ignore them. Not every physical symptom is a spiritual sign, but not every quiet season is spiritual absence. Sometimes the change reaches your choices before it reaches your emotions. Sometimes it appears in what you no longer tolerate, and in the desire to stop living in constant noise. Think about the last time you sat down to do something that mattered. Maybe it was a difficult conversation. Maybe it was a financial decision. Maybe it was one page you needed to write. The moment you approached it, fatigue appeared. Your attention scattered. Your body searched for an easier task, and you assumed that reaction meant you did not want change badly enough. But meaningful action asks many parts of you to move together. Your attention must stay present. Your emotions must remain steady. Your memory must hold the decision, while your body tolerates the discomfort of doing something new. When those systems have lived under pressure for too long, knowing the answer does not automatically create movement. That is why another message has not solved it. You do not only need more information, you need somewhere inside you for the information to land and remain. Later, we will return to a discovery connected to how the two sides of the human brain are designed to work together, not as a replacement for God, not as a miracle cure. For now, hold one question. What if renewal has already begun, but the first thing being renewed is your capacity to recognize it? If that question speaks to where you are, write, "I am becoming clear," in the comments. Do not write it as a prediction. Write it as your decision to stop calling yourself broken before you understand what has been exhausted. Because the first breakthrough is not feeling powerful. The first breakthrough is ending the accusation. And the first sign of renewal is not always more energy. It is often something most people initially try to resist. The first sign is a lower tolerance for noise. Not only sound, emotional noise, social noise, the pressure to explain yourself to people who decided not to understand you. Chosen one, a room that once felt normal now leaves you drained. A conversation that once held your attention now feels empty. Your body tightens when you agree to something your deeper knowing has rejected. You may call this weakness. You may think you are becoming too sensitive. But sensitivity is not always fragility. Sometimes it is awareness, returning after years of survival forced you to ignore the cost. The second sign is discomfort with false agreement. You say yes, and something inside becomes heavy. You smile, but your chest stays tight. You promise to show up, then wish you had been honest. That discomfort is not always fear. It may be the beginning of alignment. Your inner life is becoming less willing to support choices that create peace outside and conflict inside. The third sign is that certain arguments no longer interest you, but the hunger to prove yourself is fading. Conflict once gave you a sense of movement. It made you feel involved. Yet many battles only kept your system busy while your real life remained unchanged. The fourth sign is a desire to simplify. You want fewer voices, fewer obligations, fewer unfinished promises. You want one clear morning, one honest conversation, and one decision you can keep. These changes may look small, but they reveal something important. Renewal often reaches your tolerance before it reaches your feelings. This is the silent renewal gap. It is the space between an inner change and your ability to feel that change. Your behavior begins shifting, but your emotions have not caught up. Your choices become cleaner, but your body still feels tired. You expect renewal to arrive as excitement. Instead, it arrives as refusal. You no longer want the pattern. You no longer want the noise. You no longer want to abandon yourself to remain acceptable. Not every withdrawal is sacred. Emotional shutdown, depression, and physical illness can also change energy and focus. Wisdom asks, what is changing, what is worsening, and what care is needed? In Romans chapter 12, the Greek word anakainosis carries the sense of making new again. It points toward renewed thinking, not constant spiritual emotion. You are invited to notice whether your mind is becoming more honest and ordered. So ask yourself 4 questions. What has become quieter in me? What no longer controls my reaction? What am I unwilling to keep pretending about? What choice has become clearer, even if I still feel tired? Those answers are evidence. Transformation often becomes visible in what no longer owns your attention. You are not feeling nothing. You may be feeling less of what once controlled you. Think of one recent trigger. Did you recover faster? Did you pause before reacting? That smaller response may matter more than sudden emotion. If this speaks to your season, write, "I will not mistake quiet for absence" in the comments. Because quiet can hold wisdom. Quiet can reveal limits. Quiet can make room for truth that noise kept hidden. But one question remains. If renewal has started, why does insight still fail to become action? Why can you understand so much, yet struggle to carry one clear decision into tomorrow? The answer begins with the condition of the receiver. You can hear a powerful message and forget the action it asked you to take. You can fill pages with notes and still repeat the same day. You can feel clear for 10 minutes, then lose clarity when stress enters the room. Chosen one, this hurts because it looks like contradiction. You understand what must change, yet your life does not move with the same speed as your understanding. You need more discipline. You need stronger faith. You need to try harder. But trying harder inside an overloaded system often creates more pressure, not more movement. The problem may not be your intelligence. It may not be rebellion. Your attention may have been divided for too long. This is the exhausted receiver. The exhausted receiver can understand truth without integrating it. It can recognize a pattern without interrupting it. It can feel inspired at night and return to survival by morning. The receiver becomes exhausted through constant input. Too many voices, too many unfinished decisions, too much time spent reacting before deciding what deserves attention. Part of you is always scanning. Who is disappointed? What might go wrong? What problem is about to become yours? Even helpful information can then feel like more weight. This is why revelation can become information. The truth enters your mind, but it never stays long enough to shape your next action. The answer is not to consume faster. It is to create a place where one idea can remain. You do not need 10 new instructions. You need one clear instruction that survives ordinary life. Begin with the first 10 minutes of your day. Do not give them to your phone. Let your mind arrive before the world begins requesting pieces of it. Then write one decision in one sentence. Keep it plain. Today I will make the call. Today I will finish the first page. Today I will say no, without adding an apology. Then complete one action before receiving more content. One email sent. One appointment made. One document opened. Simplicity creates the moment when a real choice must be made. Now, bring your attention to your body. Notice your jaw. Is it tight? Notice your shoulders. Are they lifted? Notice your chest and stomach. Without trying to change anything, let one breath move naturally. Your body often reveals overload before your thoughts admit it. Ask one question. What am I carrying now that does not belong in this moment? Do not solve your entire life. Name one thing, a fear about the reaction of someone else. This does not prove that brain fog has a spiritual cause. Persistent fatigue, sudden cognitive changes, severe headaches, confusion, and symptoms affecting daily life deserve professional care. Grounded faith does not compete with medical wisdom. The purpose is to stop turning every struggle into a moral accusation. You can seek help, rest, and reduce noise without abandoning your calling. The receiver does not need punishment. It needs conditions that support clarity. And before God adds more weight to your calling, renewal may begin by removing weight from the receiver. A tired system can make even a blessing feel like pressure. It can hear direction and experience demand. That is why restoration may first feel like withdrawal, sleep, or losing interest in constant speed. For now, remember this. You are not lacking answers. You may be lacking somewhere for the answer to land. If that sentence feels true, do not chase another message tonight. Protect one clear decision. Let it remain long enough to become action. Restoration does not always feel powerful. Sometimes it feels like sleep. Sometimes it feels like silence. Sometimes it feels like losing interest in the noise that once kept you moving. Chosen one, you may be noticing this now. You want fewer conversations. You need more space after ordinary tasks. Places that once felt exciting now leave your body tense and your mind scattered. You may think something is wrong. You may fear that your passion is disappearing. But intensity and vitality are not the same thing. Intensity can come from pressure. It can come from fear. It can come from the need to prove that you are still useful, still faithful, and still strong. Vitality is quieter. It is the ability to remain present without forcing yourself. It is energy that does not require panic to keep moving. This is why restoration may first look like withdrawal. Your system is learning that it does not have to answer every voice. It does not have to enter every battle. It does not have to remain available to every demand. Think about what happens after a noisy day. Your body may ask for darkness. Your mind may resist another conversation. You may want to lie down without explaining why. That response is not automatic proof of depression. It is not automatic proof of spiritual attack. It is not automatic proof that you are moving backward. But it is information. And wisdom listens before it labels. Ask yourself 4 questions. What is becoming quieter? What is becoming clearer? What no longer feels worth fighting for? What is my body requesting that pride keeps refusing? This is the restoration test. The answers may surprise you. Perhaps your anger is fading. Perhaps you recover faster after disappointment. Perhaps you are no longer drawn to people who survive by creating confusion. That is not emptiness. That may be regulation returning. The prophet Elijah once reached a point of deep exhaustion. Before further direction came, there was sleep, food, and quiet. The story does not tell us to spiritualize every symptom. It reminds us that care can come before instruction. Your body is not an interruption to your calling. It is part of what must carry the calling. There is also something else I want you to hold. Researchers have explored how the 2 sides of the human brain work together, and one team later developed an 8-minute auditory practice around supporting that coordination. I will return to that later, not as a replacement for prayer, not as a cure, not as permission to ignore medical care. For now, hold this question. What if clarity keeps fading because the answer is weak, or because the receiver has not been given a chance to synchronize. If this speaks to your season, write, "Restoration does not need to look dramatic," in the comments. You do not need to chase intensity tonight. Notice what your system is trying to release. Notice what no longer fits. Renewal may be removing noise before it restores momentum. Not every physical sensation is a spiritual message, and not every season of fog should be explained with language that keeps you from getting real help. Chosen one, discernment becomes stronger when it becomes more honest. You do not have to choose between faith and practical wisdom. You can pray deeply and still examine what your body needs. This is the three-layer discernment. The first layer is spiritual. Ask what your conscience has been showing you. Is there resentment you keep feeding? Is there a boundary you know you must set? Is there an act of obedience you keep postponing? Do not search for a dramatic answer. Name what is already clear. Spiritual renewal often begins with one honest response. The second layer is practical. Look at the conditions surrounding your life. Are you sleeping enough? Are you carrying responsibilities that should be shared? Are you consuming noise from the moment you wake until the moment you sleep? Ask whether your habits support the clarity you keep requesting. A mind interrupted all day may struggle to remain present during prayer. A body denied rest may interpret every new demand as danger. The third layer is professional. Persistent pain deserves attention. Severe fatigue deserves attention. Sudden confusion, memory changes, intense headaches, or symptoms that interfere with daily life should be discussed with a qualified professional. Seeking help is not a betrayal of faith. Wisdom does not ask you to hide symptoms behind spiritual language. This changes the meaning of God upgrading your body. It does not mean becoming superhuman. It does not mean every ache is proof of promotion. It means becoming a wiser steward of the life you have been given. It may mean sleeping before you collapse. It may mean reducing stimulation. It may mean receiving medical care. It may mean refusing the belief that exhaustion is the price of being chosen. One woman spent years calling her constant exhaustion a test of faith. She prayed harder, served more, and ignored every warning from her body because stopping felt like failure. Her turning point was not one dramatic moment. She began combining prayer with honest boundaries, better rest, and professional support. Her faith did not become smaller, it became more grounded. Some of you have heard many messages about renewal. You may be thinking, "I have heard this before." That response is fair. So, do not measure this message by emotion. Measure it by behavior. Are you reacting differently? Are you making cleaner decisions? Are you becoming more willing to receive the kind of help your situation requires? Truth becomes useful when it changes what you do next. Earlier, I asked you to hold a question about the receiver. I told you there was a discovery connected to how the two sides of the brain are designed to work together. We are returning to that now, but a solution only becomes useful after the shape of the problem is clear. You now understand the shape. Why does knowing all of this still fail to produce movement? Why does clarity remain clarity and never become action? The missing piece may not be another message. It may be the condition in which your mind receives the message. And before that condition can be supported, the truth must be stated plainly. You are not failing because you need care. You are not less spiritual because your body has limits. The next step is not to force more intensity. The next step is to restore enough order for one clear answer to remain. You have been measuring renewal only by feeling. You have been calling overload a character flaw, and you have been asking an exhausted receiver to carry more than it can hold. The why is simple. A divided attention cannot hold direction for long. A body living under pressure can turn even helpful information into another demand. Notice the silent renewal gap. Support the receiver. Use spiritual, practical, and professional discernment. Measure change through choices, reactions, and consistent action. You are not someone God has abandoned. You are someone learning to move from reaction into clarity. The clarity you received is real, but clarity alone is not movement. The mechanism is visible now. What remains is how you support the receiver that must carry it. Dr. Roger Sperry received the Nobel Prize in 1981 for research involving split brain function. The product team uses that idea as the foundation for what they call whole brain activation. They describe the goal as hemisphere synchronization. They claim that modern stress and fragmented attention can reduce the coordinated state associated with focus, creativity, and clear decision-making. The Nobel Prize was not awarded to this product, and this product is not a medical treatment. It is a digital auditory practice built around the way its creators interpret that research. A woman from California described living with constant mental fog. She had tried many practices, but she still felt as though life was happening to her. After using the resource, she reported that something began to clear. She described feeling more present and more able to recognize direction. That was her personal experience, not a guaranteed result. A man from Texas reported a different struggle. He was carrying a family and a business while his focus weakened. The fog had lasted so long that he had stopped noticing it as fog. After using the same resource, he reported better focus and clearer decisions. Again, that is a testimonial from the product materials, not a promise that every person will experience the same outcome. A team led by Dr. Daniel Barone in New York created an 8-minute targeted auditory sequence. They call it the Genius Switch. You use headphones. You close your eyes. You relax and listen once each day. The product team calls the method neural sync technology. The Genius Switch is not presented as a meditation app. It does not require mantras or a complicated daily practice. Its creators say it is designed to support coordination between the two hemispheres. It is not for everyone. It is for the chosen one who has received enough information and is ready to support the condition in which information becomes action. It is for the person willing to stop treating fog as a moral failure. It says the regular price is $49. The current offer on that page is $39. It also includes 4 bonuses: a guided visualization, a grocery guide, a classic manifestation book, and a 5 habits infographic. The product page also states that the purchase includes lifetime digital access and a money-back guarantee. Read the terms on the official page before making any decision. The price may change, but this is not a reason to act from panic. The real cost of waiting is another week of understanding what must change while remaining unable to carry one decision into action. If you decide to examine it, use only the verified page. The product file states that it is not sold through Amazon, Spotify, or unofficial copies carrying a similar name. The link in the description and the pinned comment leads to the official page. Read everything there. Consider your health, your budget, and your own judgment before deciding. A tool does not replace God. It does not replace obedience. It does not replace sleep, medical care, or the practical changes your life requires. But a tool can support a routine. It can create a daily moment of quiet. And for some people, that may help the receiver hold clarity long enough for a real response. The deeper question remains personal. Now that you understand what has been blocking movement, what will you do with the clarity you already have? A tool can support clarity, but it cannot choose for you. It cannot obey for you. It cannot tell the truth that only your own life can confirm. Chosen one, this is where responsibility returns to your hands. What was described earlier is not a replacement for God. It is not a replacement for sleep, nourishment, medical care, or honest decisions. A tool can create a moment of quiet. It can support a daily routine, but the deeper work begins when you decide what to do with the clarity that follows. There are 3 movements to remember: receive, reduce, respond. First, receive one clear idea. Do not collect 10. Do not search for a second message before you have honored the first. Write the idea in 1 sentence. Keep it simple enough to remember tomorrow. I need to make the call. I need to rest without guilt. I need to tell the truth. I need to stop delaying the appointment. Second, reduce one source of noise. Close one tab. Silence one notification. Step away from one conversation that keeps your mind trapped in reaction. Reduction is not avoidance. It is the decision to protect what matters from what is merely loud. Third, respond with one action. Make it small enough to complete today. Send the message, open the document, prepare the food, schedule the visit. Say no without building a speech around it. Clarity becomes trustworthy when it survives contact with ordinary life. Each day, record 3 things. 1 insight you received, 1 distraction you removed, 1 action you completed. This gives you evidence. It helps you see whether renewal is becoming behavior, not only emotion. Some of you are thinking, I have purchased tools before. I have started routines before. I have felt hopeful before. And the hope disappeared. That concern is honest. Do not buy anything because a moment feels intense. Read the information. Consider your budget. Consider your health. Decide without pressure. The resource described earlier remains in the description for the person who wants to examine it carefully. The deeper work now is learning what to do with the clarity you receive. Imagine waking tomorrow with 1 decision still intact. You remember what mattered. You do not negotiate with it for an hour. You move before distraction rebuilds the old fog. That is not dramatic. It is powerful because it is repeatable. The goal is not to feel inspired every day. The goal is to become steady enough that your actions are not controlled by every change in mood. This is how trust returns. You make 1 promise to yourself, and you keep it. Then you make another. Your inner life begins to believe your words again. If this is the step you need, write "Clarity must become action" in the comments. Do not wait for perfect confidence. Confidence often follows completed movement. Let 1 action prove that the receiver is no longer only receiving. You were not renewed only to understand more. You were renewed to live differently. And the next truth may be the hardest one to accept. Some of what you called devotion was actually self-neglect wearing sacred language. You have learned to rest only after your body forces you to stop. You keep moving until patience disappears, and even simple decisions begin to feel heavy. Chosen one, you may have called this strength. You may have called it sacrifice. You may have believed that being needed was proof that you were being faithful. But self-neglect can wear the clothing of devotion. Yet the body keeps a record. It tightens, it slows, it forgets. It asks for care in whispers, then speaks louder when the whispers are ignored. Your body is not a machine God is punishing. It is not an enemy you must overpower. It is part of the life you have been trusted to steward. Stewardship is different from punishment. Punishment asks how much more you can endure. Stewardship asks what allows you to remain present and useful without destroying yourself. Intensity is different from capacity. Intensity burns brightly for a moment. Capacity carries responsibility without losing the center. Consuming revelation is different from practicing obedience. One gives you another emotional experience. The other changes how you sleep, speak, choose, and respond. This is the deeper meaning of God, upgrading your body. It does not mean becoming superhuman. It does not mean every ache is a supernatural promotion. It means respecting limits before collapse. It means restoring attention. It means leaving constant survival. It means becoming more able to recognize truth and respond with wisdom. You may feel unworthy of that care. Perhaps other people have suffered more. Perhaps your family taught you to keep going. Perhaps rest feels selfish when someone still needs you. But care is not a prize for perfect people. You do not have to earn the right to become stable. Consider how your relationships could change. You pause before answering. You stop carrying yesterday into every new conversation. You recognize when support becomes a demand to abandon yourself. Consider how your work could change. One clear decision replaces hours of scattered effort. You finish what matters before reacting to what is loud. You are not becoming less available to love. You are becoming less available to confusion. This is the threshold you have been approaching. You did not need another message. You needed the capacity to carry what the message required. Place both feet on the floor. Let your shoulders drop. Do not force any emotion. Imagine a room filled with many voices. Each voice wants an answer. Each voice claims urgency. Now, imagine the room becoming quiet, one voice at a time. Only one clear sentence remains. Do not search for a new sentence. Let the one you already know come forward. Perhaps it is rest. Perhaps it is call them. Perhaps it is stop. Perhaps it is begin. Place one hand over your chest or your stomach. Let one natural breath enter and leave. Say this slowly. I do not need to force renewal. I will create room to respond. You may feel nothing. That is acceptable. The practice is not measured by intensity. It is measured by what you do next. When this moment ends, choose one action that honors the sentence you received. Keep it small. Keep it real. Complete it before the day closes. Renewal becomes visible when the person who received the truth begins to live differently. Chosen one. The message is no longer hidden. Silence was not automatic proof of absence. Fog was not automatic proof of failure. Rest was not automatic retreat. And a tool was never meant to become salvation. You have seen the pattern. Clarity without response remains incomplete. Renewal becomes visible through the way you listen, choose, rest, and act. Let these words become your declaration. I am not abandoned because I feel quiet. I am not disqualified because I am tired. I will not call myself broken before I understand what has been exhausted. I will honor the body entrusted to me. I will receive truth without drowning it in noise. I will seek practical help when practical help is needed. I will seek professional care when symptoms require it. I will stop measuring renewal only by emotion. I am becoming clear enough to recognize what is changing. I am becoming steady enough to carry what I receive. I am becoming willing enough to act on what I already know. Holy Spirit, bring wisdom into every place where confusion has remained. Show the chosen one what must be released. Reveal the obligation that was never theirs. Reveal the fear that makes rest feel dangerous. Give them courage to set the boundary. Give them humility to ask for help. Give them patience when renewal feels quieter than expected. Teach them not to turn their body into an enemy. Teach them to care for what has been entrusted to them. Teach them to recognize when a symptom needs attention. Let clarity lead to one honest action. Not 10 promises, not another night of collecting information. One action that can be completed and remembered. When no powerful emotion arrives, remind them that obedience can still be real. A quiet decision can change a season. A small act can interrupt an old pattern. The Holy Spirit is not limited to moments that make you tremble. Renewal can move through a calmer response, a cleaner boundary, needed sleep, and the courage to seek care. If this declaration belongs to you, write, I receive renewal with wisdom in the comments. Let those words mark a decision. You will not use spirituality to ignore reality. You will not use reality to deny the sacred work happening within you. Share this message with someone who has been blaming themselves because they no longer feel as strong as they once did. For those who want to examine the 8-minute resource mentioned earlier, the verified page is placed in the description and pinned comment. Read the details carefully. Make your decision without panic. A clear mind does not need manipulation to recognize its next step. The renewal may not have reached your emotions yet, but if it has reached the way you listen, choose, rest, and respond, then it is no longer invisible. Create room. Protect clarity. Honor the body you were given. Complete the next honest action. Chosen one, do not force yourself to feel transformed. Create the conditions in which transformation can become visible.